Is everybody seeing my screen?
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. It's actually 6:31. We have a lot to cover, but I'm excited because we're gonna have fun tonight. And I do want to to make everyone aware. Normally I would have some help from Doug Davis. He's our VP, but he's had his father pass earlier today. So let's just keep him in our prayers and think about him. Just kind of keep him, you know, in our prayers today. And today, I don't expect him to call in. I wouldn't expect him to join us, but just wanted to let you guys know. If you wanted to send him something in the chat, in the group me, please feel free to do so, or in the chat on the meeting. We are recording this, and I'll make sure he gets our condolences. So we are here for the Walk for Education, and I am excited about it. We have some special guests that are coming, and my name is Tony Arnold McFarland. I am the president of RTP NSBE, and co-hosting with me tonight is Brian Tweedy.
And I'm the finance chair of the RTP chapter in NSBE.
And Brian, can you bring your volume up a little bit?
Yes, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay. Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hello.
So we are here to talk about education and why it's so important. And I can't kick this off without showing some excitement for my own education. I am excited to say I'm a Wolfpack, NC State, Go Pack. I know we got some on the phone. There we go. And education is important to me because it has opened new possibilities, not just for me, but my mother was the first person in her family to go to college. And as a result, she was able to send 3 of her siblings to college. And as a result, my grandfather has, let me see, probably about 16 of his grandkids that went to college. So it definitely multiplies, and it has its value, and 6 of them are engineers. So I can say education is important to me. How about you, Brian? What do you think about education?
Education is, you know, supreme. You have to learn. It's important to learn something every day, really, in all aspects of your life. So yeah, I also went to college and graduated with an engineering degree, and this definitely opened doors. And on top of that, I've received some certificates, and those have opened some more doors. So if you ever run into a wall, then learn something and you'll be able to walk through it.
Excellent. Excellent advice. Now, normally when we have a NSBE meeting, we stand and we say our mission, but since we're virtual, I will just put it on the screen and I will read it. I do know we have some guests who are joining us. Everybody who's on the call tonight is not a NSBE member. So definitely in the chat, please let us know who's on the call. If you're with the organization, put that in the chat. Let us know you're there. We want to hear from you. The NSBE mission, as you can see, is on the screen. And let me get my mouse out of the way so I can make sure you're seeing it all. The mission of the National Society of Black Engineers is to increase the number of culturally responsible Black engineers who excel academically. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. You have to excel academically before you can succeed professionally. And we have a development program for that, and positively impact the community. And that's what we do in our chapters. We positively impact the community. Why do we do that? Because Black lives matter to us. So for us, by us, we're going to help us. So for everyone who is a student, which means when I say a student, I mean you live with your parents. Your parents help pay for your education. I want you to put in the chat, tell us why education is important to you. Go ahead and put that in the chat. And I'm going to ask Brian to take a look at that for me. But while we're doing that, I'm going to show a quick little video from some of our NSBE Junior members who actually wanted to share why education is important to them. Now, you're never too young to start imagining education and what it's going to do for you in life. So this first one is Jaden Martin. This is actually Brian's son. Are you guys seeing and hearing it? Are you seeing and hearing it?
We are seeing, but we're not hearing.
Not hearing it?
No.
Okay. Hold on one moment here. It's more than one way to skin a cat. And I will be sharing this presentation afterwards, and it has all the links in it for what we're showing tonight. So if there's something that you're missing or you come in late, you definitely will be able to go back and grab it. So I'm going to try it from YouTube. Let's see if you can hear it this way. You guys hearing that?
Yep.
I'm really used to talking good. Being newscasters kind of talking for an hour, 2 hours, and 3 hours. I'm sick. I'm 2 and 1, 3 hours a day. Also being a samurai is kind of like an influence. I think good movement, so if the only thing I'm going to do is just hold a sword and do it. Also, when you're a samurai, there's also this skill called the enemy name that I saw from the dictionary.
Yeah, so that's just letting you know, hey, you're never too young to start imagining and thinking about your future and your education. Now, I'm also going to show a video from some of our NSBE Junior members who are sharing their thoughts on education. Hi, my name is Tony Arnold McFarland. I'm the chapter president of RTP NSBE. This month, we're taking a walk for education. AWFE, as it is called, is a signature program of NSBE. The intent is to bring awareness to education and its possibilities to those who may not normally have access to this information. So typically you would take brochures, content about various colleges, requirements for testing, door to door to the community. However, we're not able to do that right now. So we're going to do it on social media. And you can walk with us and follow us at #RTP AWFE. Next up, some of our NSBE Junior members are going to express why education is important to them. Let's take a listen.
Hi everyone, my name is Kaylin Coleman. I am a senior at Lakeville High School, and education is important to me because it gives people multiple chances. There's always something new to learn towards education, and not only does it give people second chances, but it gives people multiple chances to discover new ideas, methods, and discoveries. I want to go to college to study BME, which is biomedical engineering. I want to be a businesswoman and in biotechnology, and also find new medical discoveries in the STEM or STEAM arena.
My name is Andre Wright. I'm a graduating senior at Lisa Road High School. Education is important to me because I love to learn new things to pursue my career goals. I want to go to college and study mechanical engineering, so I'm becoming a mechanical engineer. And I want this job because I love math, science, and critical thinking. I think this career best suits for me.
Hello, my name is Breland, and I'm a freshman at Wake Early College of Health and Science. Education is important to me because it will define my future and prepare me for my future career. I want to go to college and study pre-med so I can become a surgeon. And I want to become a surgeon to help other people.
My name is Jairus Cook, and I'm a sophomore at NSBE. Education is important to me because it allows me to create my own path in the future. I want to go to college and study mechanical engineering so that I can become an automotive engineer. I want to do this so I can improve on cars that run on renewable energy sources, such as solar power and hydrogen.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Winston II, and I attend Mission Academy, or short for NCA. And education is important to me because it's one of the things that gets you a better chance of getting a higher paying job. And also, once you have education or knowledge, don't let me take that away from you. When I grow up, I want to be an engineer. That's because I love building and reconstructing new things. I also like coding.
My name is Charlie. I attend Carver Elementary School. Education is important to me because you learn, and whenever you grow up, you know stuff and you can get a job. When I grow up, I want to become a teacher because I can teach people what I learned.
My name is Avon Brandon. I am a 6th grader at East Garden Middle School. Education is important to me because you need an education to be successful in life. My favorite classes are math and science. I want to be an engineer because I like to build stuff.
Excellent. So let's give them a hand, or you just give them a shout out or a thumb raise in the chat. Those are NSBE Junior members, and they are definitely serious about what they plan on doing when they grow up. So Brian, what does the chat look like? What are people saying in the chat as far as why education is important to them?
So Ashanti Lene has said education is important because it allows her to exercise her mind and learn new skills that will help her in whatever career she would like to invest in, and also in her regular day-to-day life. Knowledge is power.
Excellent. Any others you want to share?
Nick has said,
It says, why is education important to you?
Is someone sharing? Was there another one, Brian?
Yes. So Nick Burnell, he has said that education is important because it provides a brighter outcome for his future and gives challenges and lessons that will better him in the future.
Excellent. And those are all great. Everyone has done a good job with that. And it basically prepares you for the workforce with the relevant skills, whether you work for yourself or you work for someone else. And it also provides you with social and economic opportunities. It opens up doors for you and your family. And it also allows you to be able to face just everyday life. It gives you more equipment to draw from and a mindset to handle the problems that come your way. We definitely need that now in the times that we're in today. We had some uncertain times and no one was expecting this pandemic, but because people are wise and have studied sciences and viruses and things of that nature, they are able to help us figure out how to get through this and come up with a new vaccine or some kind of medication. Now, why is education important to African Americans? I definitely want to talk about this. We're living in a time where a lot of attention is being placed on equity and social justice. And NSBE has always been there to focus on that for education and equity in education, especially engineers, Black engineers, and anyone interested in STEM, really. But this is just, I won't read all of this, but Dr. Sinclair Gray is a columnist. I am going to share this with the parents, but he really talks about how education is very crucial in our communities and how it's important for us, how it's very important for us to get a quality education, that we have good skills in science, writing, and cognitive thinking. It's more, it's not just enough to go to school, but also to learn in school and also be able to think through critical problems and hard problems. And it's also very important to know your history. Knowing your history allows you to be inspired of what people like you are capable of doing. So I won't go through all of these, but I do want to just point that out. I will share this presentation with everyone who signed up. And one thing that it is important to point out in our community is that sometimes we don't set expectations high enough for ourselves, meaning that there's some data that shows that Black parents are not necessarily across the board setting high enough expectations for their children. And we shouldn't sell ourselves short. Low expectations, as he says here, become a self-fulfilling prophecy, contributing to low expectations from the student, less positive attitudes towards school. Now, if you don't have a good attitude towards school, that means you're not going to think it's important. And many of us have been brainwashed to think that we're less intelligent. Definitely not true. And you'll know that for sure by the end of our webinar tonight. And as I said earlier, learning our history inspires achievement. And we definitely have been doing that with NSBE Junior. Here's some of our NSBE Junior members who participated in the Black Brilliance in STEM contest, where they did research on scientists and inventors who they admired, and that allowed them to be inspired. And they're all great students anyway, but learning history about who you are and who's gone before you inspires you to achieve. I can definitely attest to that. What do you think about that, Brian?
Can you say the last part again?
I said, learning history, does that inspire you to achieve?
Oh, yes, definitely. I was actually, while you were saying that, I was thinking about, I was listening to Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher, and he was on the Model Health show, and he was talking about what inspired him to really step up his game.
Right.
And he brought up Eyes on the Prize. And so I'm not 100% familiar with Eyes on the Prize, but the gist that I got from it was that these guys, these Black African Americans, they were putting a lot of work, and they were making sure that they were getting their knowledge, back when they had to deal with civil unrest and, prejudice and racism and all these things. And he said that in this time today, we have free access to knowledge. We're walking around with computers in our hands every day. We have no reason to not be able to learn and make sure that we excel and, just be intelligent.
Excellent. I totally agree. And any opportunity we get to learn about our culture, we had some earlier this year, NSBE Junior did, and then here in the on the photo on the left is one of our student who attended the Black Friday Expo and participated in our Toys for Tech. He received the Ronald McNair book, and there's a picture of him reading it. So studying those who've gone before us definitely gives you an inspiration to achieve. And like you said, Brian, there's no reason for us to not have this information because a lot of it is at our fingertips now. Now, right. STEM education. NSBE is really encouraging STEM. I won't go through all of these. This is mainly for the parents, so you can go back and read this information. But basically, this is from the U.S. Department of Education. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. And they basically, our nation needs more people who can work in these fields. We already have a job shortage. It's actually getting, that gap is getting wider. So we need more people who can do these jobs. And we also must make sure that no matter where children live, they can get a quality education and a quality learning environment, and their zip code should not determine their STEM fluency. So this is from the U.S. Department of Education, and it's up to NSBE and other organizations like NSBE to help make that possible. Now, why do we need diversity in STEM? Again, there's a lot of information here. There are links that you'll be able to go back and check out. But the U.S. will be short 1 million STEM jobs over the next decade. And this was from the Bureau of Labor Statistics in 2015. And there is going to come a point where the population that's growing will need to be the population that can fill those jobs. So that population is currently our minorities. our young minority population. So that's Blacks, that's Latinos. That ethnic group is going to, is growing and will continue to grow. And I want to say probably about 2050, somewhere around in there. We'll probably start seeing it sooner than that. There'll be a turning point where the white population would not continue to grow. And I'm not saying that to offend anyone, but this is just, you know, what is actually happening. And the job market is going to need more STEM workers. So if the job market is going to grow and need more STEM workers, and the demographic that's growing is going to be the ethnically diverse group, then that means that is the group that needs to be able and capable of filling those jobs. So that's why diversity is important in STEM. I know a lot of people say, well, you get diversity in thought. Well, yeah, you get that too. But physically, we need people who are Black and brown to fill these jobs. There will be a point where that is the demographic that's going to be the growing and the majority demographic. And here's some links that people can go back and look at. This is not me saying it. This is actual research that's already available, and people can go check it out for themselves. And education can happen not just in the classroom, but you actually have education outside the classroom. Or I should say it this way, education is in the classroom. Learning what you were educated on can happen outside of the classroom in other environments. And just to kind of wrap this section up, what myths are untrue that exist? I've heard people say boys are smarter than girls, or females cannot do certain jobs, or some activities are considered girly. When I was growing up, you did not see men as nurses, but men can be nurses. There's nothing that says a man cannot be a nurse, or Black people do not excel in STEM. These things are not true. Those students who did the Black Brilliance in STEM essays and others who did the research this earlier this year will tell you that we have pages and pages and pages, and we probably had 100 books at the library in February about Black scientists, inventors, doctors, people who were in STEM. So we want to make sure that these things that you're seeing on the screen, these things are not true. We want you to know that these things are not true, that everyone on the call is capable of pursuing a STEM career if they like. And just at a high level, when you're in preschool to 5th grade, you are exploring the world around you. By the time you get to middle school, you should be discovering what you like. And by the time you get to high school, you should know what you're good at. You should know what you like. And kind of honing that in more. The sooner you get there, the more efficient your higher educational journey will be, meaning that you already know what you want to spend time on. It does cost money to go to school, whether it's college or some other institution. So you don't want to waste time or money if you don't have to. All right, so next up, we're going to have Cher Winstead. She's going to be on. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment here. Cher is, let me just kind of say some things about Cher real quick. Cher and her family, the Winsteads, were RTP NSBE Family of the Year. Their daughter, Sage, is a part of the First Lego League Junior team, the Visionaries. Their son, Jonathan II, was a scholar in our Black Brilliance in STEM Young Scholars Essay Contest. John, the patriarch, is a member of RTP NSBE, and he's also going to be on the executive board as a telecom chair next term, and Cher is an advisor for RTP NSBE Junior. So with that, I'm going to let Cher kind of share with us for a little bit on how parents can help their kids excel in school. And she's going to be focusing on K through middle school. So I'm going to stop sharing, and we're going to let Cher come on camera. Cher, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm trying. I don't see you though. Let me just find you. I see a lot of cameras on. I'm sure you're up here, but you can go ahead. I'll find you.
All righty. Okay, so it's so much information to share, but I know I only have 10 minutes. So I'm going to try my very best to give you the most important part. So tips for successful school performance. The first thing I would do also I'm a teacher, but as a parent, meet with your child's teacher at the beginning of the school year. So, and also take your child to school if you can, especially on that first day, or if they have an orientation before school starts. So you can go ahead and meet with the teacher. You want to go ahead and set up that conference, I would say before the end of the second week of school, just so you can meet with that teacher and go over expectations for your child, just so you're all on the same page, okay? So I think it's important for that teacher to know, okay, this is my child, and this is what I expect of him or her, and how can we get there together? I see it as a team, and for us, education starts at home. So I want the teacher to know we've been working with our kids, we have high expectations, and how can we work together? And also, you're meeting on a good term, and if something happens, I want to know before October if there's an issue, whether it's behavior, academic, well, what is the issue, and how can we work together to keep our kids going on the right path? So I think the teachers need to know that you're serious about your child's education, and your kids need to know that too. Another thing I wrote down was support your child by discussing the weekly plans, like what's going on in school today, and also reviewing homework with them. So I know some schools have kind of, we have homework in our school. It's Monday through Thursday. But going over that homework and also reviewing it with your child. And I have a middle schooler too. So if for some reason you're like, I'm not sure how to do this, you can always contact that teacher. In our school, we have 24 hours to contact the parent, but there are times when you need to know right away. Sometimes I'll go on YouTube and type in, hey, how do you teach such and such, when I'm reviewing certain skills with my kids. But you need to know what they're learning, why are they learning it, and also keep track of what they're doing. So we have one child in 4th grade, well, she's going to 5th, and then we have one going to 8th. It was a little challenge last year dealing with the daily homework for the middle schooler and keeping up with it. So we had to come up with a system of how to keep up with the homework. So in my children's school, they have to write down the assignments, and some of the teachers use a Google Classroom. And that was real helpful because I could go on there and say, oh, okay, this is what actually needs to be done. When the children are writing down their assignments, we need to make sure they're writing down the correct assignment, the day, and when it's due. So that helps a lot. So also having a set time to review classwork. So when you get home, also having a set time and having a place where they can focus. So with COVID, that kind of changed a lot for us, right? I started teaching from home, which was a huge challenge at first, but it got a lot easier. But I also noticed that every child needed a space where they could learn. So setting up a space where there's no TV, no distractions, just so they can focus on their work and get it done. Let's see here. If you're unsure about what your child is doing, reach out for help. If that teacher is not responding to you quickly, reach out to, if you're a member of a church or if you know another educator, reach out to them. And I use YouTube a lot to figure out how to teach certain things to my oldest son. So make sure, just want parents to feel empowered. If you're not getting that response that you need back from that teacher, sometimes you need to bump it up to maybe the principal, but you know, you definitely want to keep that communication open. You need to know what's going on with your child and why. Another thing, time at home. So I would limit video games. I know that when I say this, people, they have a hard time with it, and my kids included, but we limit video games. We actually don't own any in our house. My kids are allowed to play Minecraft, and when they go over to other people's homes, I let them play. But as far as like paying $400 for a video game and having them sit on that for hours at a time, that's not happening in our house. So we limit that, and I like for them to select educational games. So for the youngest one, she loves Legos. My son grew up playing with Legos, and we have a table, the little storage thing that has like hundreds of Legos, and you can build and build and build. And you know, I try to stick with educational games. And let me see, during the summertime, ask your teacher, what does my child need to be successful for the next year? So for me, I teach first grade. So I gave all of my first grade parents a packet of what they needed to study with their child during the summer so that child would be successful for second grade. So for example, learning your numbers up to 300, knowing your addition and subtraction facts, starting multiplication and memorizing those multiplication facts. That's the kind of stuff we can do at home with flashcards. And now there are all types of educational games online that you can have your child do, such as iExcel. That's a nice website I like to use. But little things like knowing those facts, that'll make their life a lot easier going into second, third grade. And also for those little ones who are just entering kindergarten, it's important for them to know their ABCs, to know their sounds. And you don't have to spend any money to do this. You can use your library. So Wake County, those books are now online. And due to COVID, you can get that library card for free. And you can get it done online. You can check out books online now. You can also request books, and you can actually pick up the books that you request. So you want to make sure your kids know their ABCs, know those sounds before even starting school. So like Jonathan was reading they're called Bob books, the little readers in the library. He was reading those at 4 years old. So when he went into kindergarten, they were able to bump him up to that higher reading group. So reading is so important. And over the summer, our kids lose a lot. So we want to make sure that we are keeping up with theirs. So I have one going in the 5th grade, and here's like, can you see that? 5th grade writing book. So she needs extra help in writing. So I bought that one for her. And most of the time they call these books the bridge books. So here's the one for 5th grade. And for the one going in the 8th grade, I have the Spectrum book for math, writing, and for Jonathan, I picked language. Just those 3. And so during the summer, we're not in school all day, but I will give them about an hour or 2 worth of work to do during the day. And I know, like for me, I'm off during the summer, so it's a little easier. If you're working, and I've been there where I've had to work through the summer, I would just get them up really early. And I mean like 4:30, and we would have our lessons before I left for work. I found that worked for us versus after, at the end of the day, they're tired. So for my crew, it didn't work after camp. It didn't work when I got off of work. For us, it was getting up early because I knew that kids lose a lot during the summer, and I wanted to keep them going. Also, there's a reading program called the Institute of Reading Development, which is offered. This program is offered at NC State. It's offered all over, but our kids have taken the one that was offered at NC State for the past 3 years. It's under $300, and they also offer a discount if you have, if you've attended a previous year or if you have multiple kids going. So for us, I just kind of save up throughout the year, and I know people are like, oh, it's $300, but it's $300 well spent, and I kind of look at it as, you know, for some of these kids, it's a pair of shoes or 2 pair of you know, those favorite shoes they like to wear. And my son is in the men's sizes, so now it's like $200. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna get you the cheaper pair, and we're gonna save up for this for your summer program. So that reading program, Sage is in the one she's going in the 5th grade, but her reading level, she's on 6th grade reading level. Jonathan's going into the 8th grade summer program, and his program is 12 weeks. I think hers is 6 weeks. And that program is taught by a reading specialist. And they basically go once a week. And then they have homework that they will need to do for the following 5 days. The kids are able to actually get on the computer. And as a parent, you just have them sign on. And the teacher will walk them through everything. This year, due to COVID, the program is online. So, you know, I still sign them up. They're starting in July. They still have slots available. And what we usually do is try to sign them up for a STEM camp too during the summer. In the past, they've gone to North Carolina A&T, and that camp has been canceled for the summer due to COVID, but there are other programs available. So I signed them up for the coding camp through NSBE Junior, and they'll start that. So I try to, during the summer, you know, they need to keep reading. I want them to attend a quality camp if possible. And since I'm off during the summer, I do not put them in a camp for the whole summer. I'll just put them in maybe a week camp. And then the reading camp is only once a week for a certain number of weeks. So I did mention, are you able to local.
I was gonna say, are you able to in the chat? I know we're gonna probably, I don't want us to run out of time, but can you put the names of the camps in the chat? And and I guess your email if people want to get more information. But this is a lot of information.
Sure.
And I do know that a lot of parents may not know how important it is to go to the levels that you're going to. When I am working with kids of other ethnic groups, that's what they're doing. Indian kids, Asian kids, they're going to levels that we're not doing. And learning is a lifestyle. Learning is a lifestyle. They go to the library. A lot of our kids don't go to the library. I know we probably can't go right now, but when we could go, we were not going. So just I guess the takeaway from that is when you continue to learn year round, they don't forget it. And if there are gaps, don't wait. If you're struggling, the child is struggling with reading or writing, address it, because it only gets worse as they get older. And then
we've had to deal with that. So we've had a child that, you know, we were having issues, and the good thing is to, you know, go ahead and say, oh, okay, what do we need to do for this child to succeed? You know, but it took a team, but it also takes you as a parent being an advocate for that child.
For your child. I'm a product of that. I was not good in math. Now, 6th grade, I started getting okay with math. But because my mother was like you and made me do all this stuff that I missed, I couldn't miss a problem. I got better in math. I just needed more practice time. So, well, Cher, you are a wealth of knowledge, and I appreciate you.
I want to mention one more thing. As far as like reading during the summer, there are certain reading lists you can get for the grade level that your child is on. And I'll give this to you and we can add it, you know, but I used to work at Newcastle County Library in Delaware. And if you go online and just type in Newcastle County Library reading list, you can get a reading list for 5th grade, for middle school, for high school, for whatever boys like to read, or, you know, whatever. But that gives you an idea. And a lot of those books, for those of you who live in Wake County, they're a part of the Wake County library system. So you can request those books and download them for free, or, you know, whatever. But the information's there. You just have to use it.
Right. And I've also seen it on the Wake County schools websites. All of the schools have the syllabus and what the students are supposed to be learning. So the information is there, and if parents need help navigating that, they can get that from the school. You can reach out to RTP NSBE. We have people who do tutoring as well, especially for high school students. So, all right. Cher, thank you for your time. I know we are kind of moving pretty quickly. If you have some questions for Cher, please put those in the chat. And Cher, if you can, watch the chat. If people have questions for you, just respond to those in the chat. Thank you for your time, Cher.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna jump back into sharing real quick so you guys can see my screen.
Real quick.
And just to kind of wrap up, that was preschool to middle school. We're gonna be moving into high school and college, because that is kind of very critical. All of the years are important. And I just want to make sure that we don't overlook middle school and preschool. A lot of times we go straight to college, but it's hard to get to college if you haven't done well or developed well in preschool to the middle school grades. We also do have a site that I manage. It's called United Shades of STEM. If you're on Facebook, you can join that group. And I put information like this out there on a regular basis. And also here's some books. Again, this will be in the presentation. I have a whole list of books. This is just some of them. We will make this information available on our website. I have a whole list of books for African American students who are interested in STEM, and just some general good books as well. So you will, have access to that. Here's also a list of camps, programs for the Raleigh-Durham area. Some are national. A lot of this is virtual now, so it really doesn't matter where you live. But I will also, again, make this available for you to go back and go through these links. And some of these programs are still taking virtual campers for the summer. I do want to mention there's a lot of summer immersion programs. I haven't heard a lot of students in the Black community talking about that, but those are college programs where students can go virtually and take classes in the summertime. They start as early as age 13. So summer immersion programs, and Wake Forest University, I want to say, still has some slots in that. And they have a lot of different tracks, different curriculums. I don't know if DJ is on, but DJ is hosting a coding camp. He is from the DC chapter of NSBE. They have a coding camp that starts tonight. So I want to make sure we can kind of stay on track. So those of you that want to go to that can go. It's free. It's for ages 10 to 17. They have multiple tracks. If you still want to go and you are just now finding out about it, let me put this link in the chat where you can go sign up and actually join it tonight. So I will put that in there before we end tonight. But he is actually teaching the camp, and he has some volunteers that are helping him out, and that's from the DC chapter. All right, now we're gonna switch gears and start talking about college. These are just some general tips for choosing your college. By the time you get to high school, know what you're good at. Are you good at math? Are you good at science, liberal arts? And parents should be helping the children discover that as they go along as they matriculate. And then also think about your personal preferences locally. Where do you want to go geographically? What kind of environment? HBCU, predominantly white, doesn't really matter. I just want the best for my price. Think about what's important to you. And then also, once you figure out what's important to you, base your college choice on the schools that offer what you want. I know a lot of students like to go to schools because their friends are going there. Well, you have to go where it's a good fit for you and your major. So make sure you're choosing schools, not just because you like their sports, you know, but because it is the right school for you and you've gone through these steps to choose that school. What are they accredited in? Is that accreditation for your field? What are the graduates doing who have already graduated from that school? These are questions that you should be asking. What are the admission requirements? What kind of funds are available to me? How much is it going to cost me? And what kind of unique experiences will I get? So we do have tonight North Carolina schools that will be represented. And before I bring that up, I do want to mention personal brand. A lot of high school students don't talk about this, but you used to not have to talk about this to college, but now you need to think about this in high school. So your personal brand in high school is basically, how do you stand out? What is it that is unique about you that will award you a scholarship or get you admitted into a particular school? So it's important to start building that brand, and you cannot wait until your junior or senior year to do it. These are things that you have to do along the way. Community service, summer camps, getting valuable work experience, getting involved in extracurricular activities, having leadership roles in the community, at school, maybe at your place of worship, networking with people who can write recommendation letters for you. So these are things you have to start doing, I would say, as early as middle school. You need to start building that brand for yourself in middle school so that when you get to high school, you will have everything in place that will allow you to get scholarships and that will also help you get into the colleges that you want to go to. Now, here's a list of college readiness links, lots of links here. I won't go through these all because you all get this, but just to point out, here's some one-stop places for applications. Also just kind of knowing, having a roadmap as well that's in here, as well as some testing to help you figure out what you want to major in. And over here, knowing the prerequisites and the standardized tests. It's important to make sure you're on track with that, and that parents help students stay on track with getting ready for college. I know people sometimes tend to say, oh, they got it, they've been doing great in school, they have it. But parents, they do need our help. We want to make sure that they're not overlooking anything, because this is a very important step in life. All right, then just a little bit about funding. The FAFSA, there is a deadline, June the 30th, that's coming up. So if you are graduating this year, you definitely should already have that done. But there's a lot of money that does not get used. I know a lot of people don't even spend enough time looking, like they just don't, they just give up. They look for like maybe 3 or 4, and if they don't get them, they don't continue to apply. But there's a lot of money from scholarships, the Ultimate Scholarship Book, the Scholly app, organizations in your community, even jobs. If you're going to work somewhere while in high school, work at a place that offers scholarships. And here's just some of the companies that do offer some type of a scholarship. Working at McDonald's through high school is positioning you to be able to get a scholarship for college. So these are places where it's easy access if you already know that the job is going to position you for a scholarship, or either they offer scholarships. So let that be something that helps you decide where you want to work. And a lot of people don't look because they say, well, I don't have the grades, or my parents are going to make too much money. They're not going to qualify. A lot of the scholarships are not grade specific. If you go through the Ultimate Scholarship book, there's scholarships for a lot of different things. You're left-handed, where your parents work, what state you live in, whether you're male or female, or your ethnicity. I have a friend who applied for 20 scholarships. Her son applied for 20 scholarships, and he got 7 of them, and he got about $90,000 worth of scholarships that were renewable for 4 years to go to college. And that came by having discipline in developing a process to apply for those. He did that probably every day for a few weeks. And that's how he ended up getting so much for school. It's not unusual for students to get, I've seen a few on the internet that've gotten at least $1 million in scholarships. So there's a lot of money out there that does not get used. If you're going to a HBCU, UNCF and Thurgood Marshall College Fund, those are 2 resources for HBCUs. So make sure you check those out if you're thinking about going to HBCU. I won't play this video for the sake of time, but this is the gentleman who you may have heard of the Scholly app. He was a student who needed money for school. I don't want to say his mom has like 5 children, and he knew that she would not be able to help with that. So he started working on looking for scholarships, and along the way, he developed an app called Scholly. He was on the show Shark Tank, if you've seen him up there talking about it. But this is a little video about Chris Gray and how he received over $1 million in scholarships. And make sure you visit your campus before you go. Make sure you kind of check it out. I know it's hard to do right now. There are places that are doing virtual tours. And thanks to one of our NCA&T students, we do have a drone video. He provided a drone video here. So when I send this out, you will be able to click this and see a drone view of North Carolina A&T State University for anyone who is interested in going there. In NSBE visits, we have about 6 colleges that we are involved with. And these are just some photos from some of those schools that we went to during our year. And if you are a student interested in STEM, interested in engineering, and you're involved in NSBE, that one thing that is an advantage is you can grow with NSBE. You can be in NSBE in now elementary, middle, high school, college, and then as a professional. So it's an organization that helps you grow along the way as you matriculate in your education in college and into your career. All right, so Brian, let's bring in our colleges, and each school is going to be represented tonight. We're gonna show your mascot, and we would like for you to talk about these things here: admissions requirements, STEM careers offered, if it's a predominantly white institution, what special things are there for minorities, and if there's some significant changes as a result of COVID-19, we'd like to know about that. And anything that's a unique offering from your institution that students need to know about. And if something that they can be doing, if there's something they can be doing to increase their chances of getting accepted, we'd like to know that as well. So Brian, you want to walk us through these?
So first up, we have NC State University.
Okay. So Angie, did you have anything you want to share, or you want to just chat?
No. I definitely would like to share. Thank you for all the information that has been provided. I just think what you all covered has just been so beneficial for all students that are on the call. I am Angie Daniel, and I'm director of the Minority Engineering Program at NC State. And I would say NC State is known for engineering. And so every discipline, and I'm just going to read off a few, from aerospace to biomedical to chemical to civil, computer engineering, computer science, civil and construction engineering, electrical, environmental, industrial, material science and engineering, mechanical, nuclear, paper science and engineering, and textile engineering. And so I named just some of them. If any of those popped out as something that interests you, I would encourage you to get online and do some research. But I will tell you, NC State, we are what is called a PWI, a predominantly white institution. And so in the space that I am in, I'm responsible for making sure students, number one, know about engineering and our opportunities that are available. And then I'm responsible for all of the support for students once they get to campus. And so that's anything from the course that I teach, E144 and E145, helping students navigate campus in terms of knowing what resources are available, how to study, how to take tests, how to talk to professors, how to prepare for job interviews in terms of a resume and interview skills. So we cover all of those things. I will tell you in terms of admissions, the easiest thing to remember, and I think this is across the board, if you're interested in engineering or anything STEM related, we're always going to be looking at your math and science grades. So just as a rule of thumb, just think math and science, and not to say everything else is not important, because they are. You want to have A's and B's, right? And the other thing I will tell you is if you make sure you're focusing on your math and science courses and doing all the other required courses, you have the A's and B's in that, and then you take your SAT or your ACT score. Our range in terms of our scores, for SAT, the middle 50%, the actual scores are 1340 to 1450. And so you may hear that number like, oh, that's not me. I will tell you that there are students that are admitted that are below that and above it, right? But we're looking at the student in a holistic way. And so when you see that, I don't want you to be discouraged and not apply. If you have the A's and B's and you've challenged yourself in terms of what's offered at your high school, I never want to hear a student say, oh, I finished all my math, so I didn't take math this year. No, you don't want to sit and not do math, right? And so making sure that you take advantage of all of the courses that are offered. And if you can get to an honors or AP course, great. If you can just do regular, coursework, that's fine too. You want to make sure you master the subject level in the course that you're taking. Alrighty, I'm trying to remember all of the questions. Did I hit everything, Tony, or did I miss something?
Is there anything unique that NC State offers to minorities?
Well, I would say that what is special is that we actually have my office. And so the Women in Minority Engineering program, it lets students know that they automatically have a place where someone is responsible for their success. And so I really, really think that's a positive in terms of students feeling welcome on campus, and all of the things that are going on now with COVID-19, especially having that network of support is crucial, right? And so we, like everyone else, have been online all summer. A lot of courses will remain online, but for some students, having access to internet is a challenge. And so that's something that I would be responsible for, is how do I make sure all students have access to internet to be able to do their work online, right? And so the big thing for us now, and it's the same for many universities across North Carolina, is how do we bring everybody back safely? And that's in terms of faculty, staff, and our students. And so that's a big problem to look at and solve. When it's all said and done, we all know that COVID is very real. And so the things that are going to be in place, everybody has to be comfortable with. And so that's what I would share in terms of NC State. If there are any points in time where we get back to somewhat of a normal schedule, if you ever want, and even we can do it virtually. That's the other thing that's been great about this. Before, we would never think to do something like this online. And now we have this platform that if you were interested in learning more about a particular department or even another program in NC State, if you reach out to me, I'm happy to connect you with, whether it's within my sphere of influence or within another place on our college. I would definitely make sure that I connect you. I'd like to invite students to campus when they have teacher work days, that they can be connected to current students and just hang out, go to classes, ask questions. And I think that's the best experience, is to be able to walk on a campus and just, walk around, check things out, and see what it's like to be a Black student or a Hispanic student or a Native student in a predominantly white environment. And so I think what we have in terms of our MEP program makes that a lot easier for students to navigate.
Thank you, Angie. And if anyone has questions for Angie while she's on, please feel free to put those in the chat. And if you are a student at NC State, say so in the chat, and there may be another student that wants to just ask you a couple of questions. And if you are an alum from NC State, put that in the chat. What did you study? And you can also engage. Some of the other colleges can do the same. But as we go through this, if you attended the school that we're talking about, say something in the chat, and others who might be interested may have questions for you. Thank you, Angie. One thing I will mention too is that at NC State, they do have the African American Culture Center, and they also have centers for other ethnicities as well. So definitely a lot there to do at NC State. And NSBE chapter is there, and we spend some time with them and definitely engage with them as well. All right, so let's see who we got coming up next.
All right, so next up we have the NC Aggies.
All right.
Representative tonight.
Okay. Who do we have representing North Carolina A&T State University?
Good evening. My name is Tashina DeBrew. I work in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions at North Carolina A&T State University. And I'll begin by saying that we are the #1 public HBCU in the country. So we're very proud of that accomplishment and achievement. Tonight we're focusing in on the College of Engineering. A&T does place a strong emphasis on our STEM programs, science, technology, and engineering, and mathematics. And I would like to say that tonight's program has been awesome for me as a professional, but also as a parent. So this is a great platform for students. With our College of Engineering, we offer chemical and biological and bioengineering, civil, environmental and architectural engineering, computer engineering, computer science, electrical engineering, industrial and systems engineering, and mechanical engineering. I think it would be great for me to point out at least one of the rankings for the College of Engineering at North Carolina A&T. We are ranked #1 for BS in Engineering Programs award to African American students, and that's been for about 17 consecutive years. As we talk about the requirements, I will share with you the averages for the College of Engineering. As mentioned by NC State students, it's very important that you have a love for math and science when we're talking about engineering. And as I share these averages, remember they are averages. So the average GPA 3.85, average SAT 1180, average ACT 24 composite. And again, we talked about math being very important. So the average math score is about 598. So with that being said, students, I would like to say to you, I was very happy to see us talking to elementary, middle school students, because it's very important that we start to talk to you about what courses are needed. You taking the math and science courses, because a lot of times in middle school, you have an opportunity to start to take your first math course where you get that high school credit. You start to have an opportunity to take your first foreign language. So that's very important. I will also point out, we talked about SAT, ACT students. If you have an opportunity to practice, do those practice tests, take the PSAT. I actually believe there's an app that ACT has that you can put on your phone, students, where you can get one question a day just to kind of get a feel for the test. So these are some ways that you can prepare yourself as you begin to apply to college. We talk about North Carolina A&T and career opportunities. We have one of the largest career fairs on the East Coast. We're looking at about 250 plus employers on campus to recruit our students. So students, I'm talking about Microsoft, I'm talking about Google, Facebook, John Deere. They're coming on campus, General Motors, they're coming on campus to recruit A&T's engineering students for internships, co-ops, and permanent jobs. So I always tell students coming into A&T your first year, we want you to register with the Office of Career Services your first year, because it's not your first semester, I should say. It's not uncommon after your first year at A&T for you to have an internship opportunity. And we talk about areas of support when you come into A&T. And I like the fact that we started to talk about you recording what you're doing in middle school, community service activities, what you're doing in high school, if you have that part-time job, because you're going to come to A&T with that resume already ready. And what we're going to do in the Office of Career Services, College of Engineering, we're going to take what you have and we're going to critique it. We're going to help you build upon that so that you're going to go to the first career fair that we have when you come on campus in the fall. You're going to present that resume. We're going to show you how to dress for success, and you're going to gain those internship opportunities. So after that first year, you're going to have a good solid GPA, and you're going to be on your way to another state for an internship opportunity. A lot of that due to COVID is now virtual, but hopefully we'll be through COVID and you'll be actually going to an internship or a co-op opportunity. Anything else you would like for me to cover? I would like to say, do your research, students. Visit the campus. It is about a good fit. Visit the campus. Come on a campus tour. When you come, we advise you to make an appointment with the College of Engineering, with the faculty, so that they can take you inside a classroom. If you want to see what a class is like, we want to set that up for you so you can see hands-on what you're going to get at North Carolina A&T. One of the things I think that makes us unique, I won't say think, I will say no, it's the academic support that you're going to receive. You're going to receive tutoring. You're going to have an opportunity to develop relationships with your professors. That's very, very important. So they're going to be there to support you. If you come to A&T and you want to succeed, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that you are successful. So that's through tutoring, that's through bringing back alumni, giving you an opportunity to have a mentor-mentee type of relationship with successful alumni through the College of Engineering. You're also going to find now, College of Engineering, you're going to find that it's a family among students. They support one another. So these are the same students that are competing for some of the same jobs, but you're going to find that they're over in the College of Engineering because when one engineering student is successful, they're all successful. So you're going to receive that support from faculty and staff as well as your peers at the university.
Thank you, Tashina. That was excellent. I would like to add, I know we have a couple of NSBE Junior students who are interested in A&T, so I'm going to advise, I'm not going to call them out, to go ahead and put some questions in the chat to Tashina, asking her, questions about the school and anything you want to know about it. We have RTP NSBE has been on campus there. We're in touch with your NSBE chapter. So, and we have some Aggies in the chapter. So we definitely have a connection with A&T.
Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.
I knew I was going to get that.
Aggie Pride.
So I definitely know we have Aggies that can help out as well. And we got Wolfpack, we got Wolfpack in the house as well too. So, all right. Questions for Tashina, please put those in the chat. And I am going to go on to the next school.
So now we have UNC Chapel Hill. Who is our representative for UNC tonight?
So tonight we have Maya. Go ahead, Maya.
Yes, hi everyone. First off, my name is Maya Logan, and I am a current student at UNC Chapel Hill. I'm a rising junior, and I'm currently studying quantitative biology and public policy with a minor in chemistry. And with leadership positions, I am the current speaker pro tempore of the Undergraduate Senate and the Multicultural and Diversity Affairs co-chair. So just a little bit about Chapel Hill in regards to our STEM education. So for the majors in regards to engineering, unfortunately, we only have one major, which is biomedical engineering. However, there are a host of other disciplines within STEM that UNC does offer. So we offer applied sciences, computer science, biochemistry, quantitative biology, physics, and polymeric chemistry. And so it's so important to, know the statistics of UNC, because coming in, I did not know the statistics of UNC. And when I applied, I just applied because I wanted to honestly get out of the state of South Carolina, where I'm from.
Me too, Maya.
And so just to highlight a few of their statistics, so the SAT range is 1280 through a 1470. The ACT is a 29 through a 33, and the GPA requirement is a 4.77. But I just want to emphasize, as many of the other college representatives have spoke, grades are just a number. I want to echo from my own experience. When applying for college, I heavily depended off of my personal brand. So I utilized my resources not only in high school, but preparing for college. I made sure that my resume was stacked well with things. A lot of people just add things to make a list, but you want to have intentional connections with the groups and the extracurricular activities that you are in. And that leads into letters of recommendation. So when applying to UNC, you supply one letter of recommendation, and you have optional 2 letters that you can supply as a supplement. So I ended up applying all 3 because, leveraging connections in high school, I was able to very much utilize 3 letters of recommendation. And so highlighting the fact that colleges want to see more than grades, you want to be able to make sure that you're highlighting the things that you're doing in your community. Personally speaking, from UNC is a liberal arts-based school. So I always like to say liberal arts, UNC is a liberal arts school that explores the intersection of STEM and humanities. And so that's kind of where I got my major from. I've always been interested in politics, and I've always been interested in STEM. So I said, hey, put them together, and there you go. So another thing I would like to echo, UNC is very expensive, as many colleges are, but never let that deter you. So one thing I'd like to add about me, I received a full ride scholarship to UNC Chapel Hill, and I also received $500,000 worth of additional funding. So just echoing, apply for scholarships. I would highly recommend applying for local-based scholarships. That's what I really aimed at. So I received, not everything that you get you will actually win. I applied for 60 scholarships and only received 30. So it can kind of fall where the cards do fall, but never let that deter you. And I am a first gen student. This is my first time ever venturing away from home. So UNC definitely offers community. And I feel like it's very important when you go to college to find your community and know that your community supports you. So that leads into just a few opportunities for, having STEM and the Black experience at UNC. As you all know, it is a predominantly white school. And I will say white in all caps because it is a predominantly white school. But there are some areas where you can get involved with the Black experience in STEM. So we have NSBE on campus. I'm currently serving as the secretary, and we're always recruiting freshmen. We're always looking to work in the Carborough area to help recruit more Black students and Black males and females to come to UNC and major in STEM. We also have Blacks in pre-med, and we have Black in technology, and then we are actually, right now, I am rolling out a new commission for racial equity out of the UNC Senate. So we are working with that to encompass more resources for Blacks in STEM. So stay tuned for that. And then I believe you wanted to touch on COVID-19. So as of now, UNC has not released what, admissions will look like. I do feel like there will be a change in admissions just because of all of the circumstances everyone's facing all over the world. So I feel as though they will be bending their admission requirements, but I have no complete say on it. Excuse me. And then they just rolled out 2 weeks ago the Carolina Roadmap. So our chancellor was speaking about that, and basically it's going to encompass different opportunities for students to have e-learning and be able to learn from home, just in case an event of COVID-19 arrives on campus. And for first years, they will have the Carolina Away program, where most first years will be online for their first year. So hopefully, though, after COVID, first year students and student recruitment can definitely increase and improve. And, of course, it'll get better. So in regards to recruitment, typically recruiters that come to our campus is NASA, LabCorp, Accenture, Google, Microsoft, and RTI International. So every day in the pit, and basically in the pit is like the heart of campus. You'll have, student representatives, student recruiters, always in the pit, and you can have opportunities to interview, or if you just simply want to talk to the company, just to pitch yourself. We have an awesome department for career and advanced services. So they help with career preparation, interview skills. I go there frequently to help just for preparing for the mock interview, especially for the technical interviews for STEM-based jobs. So I think I've covered everything in regards to UNC, but just a personal sentiment: never let your background or your where you come from determine where you will go. That is my motto. That is something that I have followed closely to heart. In high school, I was the only Black girl to graduate from our STEM cohort, and seeing that, I'm so happy that I'm now able to give back to students that look just like me, because I didn't have that, but by the grace of the world and, you know, the universe, I was able to attend college on a full ride and have multiple outlets for finances. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, Maya. And if there are any students who are going to school this fall and you have not filled out a scholarship applications, please see Maya. She definitely knows how to find some money, it sounds like. So thank you for sharing that, Maya. I learned a lot about you. I am going to divert a little bit because we do have someone who has stopped in. Are you on, Jason?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. So I'm gonna, while Jason is on, because I know he has to go, Jason, do you want to share your slides, or you want me to share them from my computer?
Oh, I can do it, no problem.
Okay.
I can't do it from my screen.
Okay, I can stop sharing and allow you to share.
Cool.
All right. So as Jason is getting ready, this is very important. I do know we're gonna run over, but please stay, because we did a lot to pull all this together, and I don't know that we'll do it again anytime soon. If you're worried about going to the camp, DJ knows that we're gonna be, running up against the clock, so he's okay with that. But Jason is here to share what he does, and actually he has a connection with one of our NSBE members, and I won't steal his thunder. I'll let him go ahead and introduce what he does, and Jason, you can kind of take away and share your screen.
Awesome. So it's not letting me share my screen. Tony, if you want, you don't have to go back and forth. You can share it from your end.
Okay. All right. Let me just find it real quick. So Jason, you can kind of go ahead and give them a little spiel on it as I pull that up.
Yeah. So first off, thanks for having me here. I was actually referred to NSBE by one of your current students. I won't name him to respect his privacy, but he was one of our first students in the program overall. And over time, we've sent students to all the schools that have spoken here. So I'm a big fan of everything that you guys have talked about. And the students that have presented have said some awesome things. The admissions officers have said some awesome things. And it's good to know this information before you actually have to tackle it. Now, with that said, I run a company called Transition. We essentially help high school and middle school kids, but mostly high school kids, with the entire college guidance and planning process. So everything from helping you find scholarships, to choosing classes, to figuring out what tests to take, to just talking about life. We have a strong angle when it comes to mental health. We allow students to talk to our mentors a lot, and you're matched with someone who wants to go into something that you're really interested in, or you're matched with someone who has your personality. So for example, if you want to be an engineer, you'll be matched with someone who's worked very well with engineering students in the past. In essence, you're connected with this mentor, you meet over video sessions, and you have a text messaging platform you can share with them so that you can get all your questions answered. Ultimately, for parents, we want to make sure that you guys don't have so much stress and anxiety on your shoulders. And for students, we want to help you have the best chance to succeed and really just guide you throughout the entire process. So if Tony, you want to share the slide, I can just go over a couple of things.
Okay. All right, I lost part of my window here. Let me just figure out how to get it back. Okay, here we go.
Cool. So you can go to the next slide.
Okay.
So what we do in a nutshell is we'll help you with the entire application process. With the student who referred me to NSBE and who's a NSBE student now, we helped him with the entire application process, from finding which schools to go to helping him find out which essay topics are great, helping his mom out navigate the entire system, and of course helping him with scholarships. If you're younger, we'll help you figure out which schools are a great fit for you, what kind of campuses would be a good fit for you. If you need help with a career option, if you find out that engineering isn't a good niche, we'll help you figure out that sort of life and career mentorship. And of course, the last part is career advice, as I mentioned before. If you don't know what you want to eventually go into, we'll help you guys out figure out a career, and testing is a part of our platform. So you figure out what personality is a great fit for a particular career you might go into. Tony, you can scroll down.
Okay.
So there are other companies like this in the space. It's definitely a growing space with a lot of students hopping on it. The three things, the way we differentiate ourselves is, number one is matching. We'll match you to someone who is a great fit for your personality. So you're not going to get just anyone assigned to you. You'll get someone who can help you and someone you'll get along with, so that you have a lot of fun through what is normally a boring process, but we make it a lot of fun for you. Also, the value. You get a lot of help on our platform. It's not meeting once a year or twice a year. You're meeting regularly, maybe once every couple of weeks or once a month. And cost. We take affordability very seriously. If you can't afford it, we have a lot of pro bono services. But ultimately, for a first-rate flagship service, we are significantly less expensive than a lot of the more expensive platforms that are out there. Education and private services, it's the way the industry is. There's a whole conversation to be around it, but they're usually very expensive. We make sure to be more affordably priced than the others. Can you scroll down? As I mentioned, there's no in-person meetings. We make sure that you can be sourced and connected with the right person. So if the right person for you is located in California and you live in South Carolina, like I believe Maya does, we'll make sure that you guys are getting connected over video sessions. So Skype, Google, Zoom, or Google Hangouts. And then you can text your mentor. So you can text your mentor anytime you have questions. You don't need to wait until the session to actually talk to that person. What's great about that is, if you have a question in the middle of the night, you can text the mentor. If you have a question that pops up during the school day, you can text your mentor. The point is that we're going to give you that help, A to Z, soup to nuts, so that you're never concerned about forgetting your question and you're getting all your inquiries answered. Then, Tony, let's go down. Overall, just for parents and students, our angle here is to make sure that you are less stressed and anxious throughout the entire process. This process is pretty stressful, and schools are stretched thin, so they don't have the resources to help all the students. For parents, we keep it very simple, especially if you went to college and the college process is really different than when it was when you were back in college. It will help you hit your deadlines and keep you accountable. It'll also help you do your best. We'll position you in the right schools. If you're applying to great schools like North Carolina A&T or A&M or some of the awesome schools that were presented here, what matters is you're really doing your best in your application, so they know who you are. I believe it was Maya or the student before who touched on her personal brand, but we'll help you build that brand if you need that type of outside help. And then last slide. You can contact me at jason@transition.com or just call that number. Additionally, with us, your first session's free, or you can just give me a call and I can talk to you and help you out, or one of my team members can. Ultimately, we're here to help students like you, and we want to make sure that you guys have the least amount of stress and anxiety for both parents and students during the entire process. So overall, I love what you guys do at NSBE. To the referral, my contact who brought me here, you're on this call. I love you, man. It's great working with you, and I hope to work with this organization or some students from it soon enough. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much for stopping by, Jason.
Of course.
I'll speak as Jason was referring to me. I was one of his first students, and I do have to say the program is very helpful. There's a lot of nuances, and even though like me and my mother did have a plan coming in, there's a lot of things you learn going through and working with someone who's not within the family. So I strongly recommend it, even if you are someone who has a child, who you yourself went to college, everything does change, and there's a lot of help you can get from someone outside, and Jason's program is very nuanced and very, how to put it, it's just transformational. So I strongly suggest you working with Jason.
Thank you, Joshua, for sharing your testimony there. All right, excellent, great information. Okay, so we're going to get back into our virtual fair. And next up, we're gonna just keep moving around the triangle here for a minute. Duke University. So do we have our representative from Duke University on?
Yes, hi, my name is Adrienne Stiff Roberts. I'm a professor of electrical and computer engineering at Duke University. I've been there for 16 years. I am from North Carolina. I grew up in Raleigh. I went to Enloe High School. For undergrad, I went to Spelman College. I did a dual degree program, so I studied physics at Spelman and then electrical engineering at Georgia Tech. I got my PhD in applied physics at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, and then I started my position at Duke. So I'd like to tell you about the majors that we offer at Duke. So there are 4 engineering departments. So we have biomedical engineering, civil and environmental engineering, electrical and computer engineering, that's my department, and then also mechanical engineering and material science. So those are all in the Pratt School of Engineering. We also have other STEM departments in the Trinity College of Arts and Sciences. So that includes biology, chemistry, mathematics, physics, also statistical science, computer science, evolutionary anthropology, and psychology and neuroscience. So a wide range of STEM fields that you can study at Duke. I don't have the statistics for average GPA or SAT scores and those things, but I will say that the information that we've heard from the other schools are comparable. The higher is better, but the number is not the whole story. It's a holistic review over what you bring to the table. And along those lines, one thing I want to sort of, I think, expand on that Maya mentioned is when you are thinking about building your brand and participating in multiple activities, it's, I think, most important to have something that is consistent and in-depth. So, you know, you don't want to be scattered across the map doing a little bit in a lot of different areas, but you want to build some depth in a particular area where you can demonstrate that you've made a contribution and that you've done something meaningful. And that then comes across in your essay. When you talk about your personal statement, it comes across in your interviews. Another thing I want to mention about the reference letters, that is so incredibly important because you want to build those relationships with people who can speak to your character, to your potential, to what you can accomplish. And you want those to be real relationships. And so you do want to start working on that, you know, very early. Middle school is not too early. People in the community. So when you are part of an organization and there's an adult there that is working with you through that organization, through the community, you want to be talking to them so that they know about you, so that when you write to them later in life and say, will you write me a recommendation letter? They say, sure, I remember you. You were a great kid in my program. Another thing I want to mention along those lines is it's really important to get to know your guidance counselor. This is something that I didn't really realize, but the guidance counselor is sending a letter to the school talking about, you know, giving some information about the background of the school, like sort of the types of students that are attending the school, what the tests are like from the school. And if that guidance counselor actually knows you and they like you, they can actually include personal statements about you in that letter too, instead of just this form letter. So that's another character reference that you can get. So that's also important to get to know your guidance counselors at your schools. Something else I want to mention in terms of preparing for college is the AP exam, especially for students that are going into STEM. So you take the AP courses and you do have to pay money for the AP exam. And so it is an investment in your future. But I want to say for students studying STEM especially, it is worth the money to take those AP classes and those AP exams in the STEM areas. So take the AP math class, take the AP biology or the AP chemistry, the AP physics, AP computer science, if you're able to. When you take those courses and you pass that exam and do well, you are buying time for your undergraduate studies because that is counting towards your credits. So what it means is you can graduate early or you can do a double major. You know, you can study or pursue some additional area that you have interest in instead of having to get all those basics. Now you can take other AP courses like, you know, history or English. I'm not saying you don't take those, but if you're coming down to a place where you have to make a choice about which AP tests you can take, err on the side of the science and the math, because that's going to get you real value in terms of what you have to do in undergraduate studies. So a couple of things that are unique about Duke. One thing in terms of support for Black students and for underrepresented minorities, obviously our NSBE chapter is a really important part of that. And it's a place, especially in the engineering school, in the Pratt School of Engineering where I am, that is a resource for students, that is a community for students. Campus, also in the Pratt School of Engineering, we have a director for diversity and inclusion. I wish it were a full, complete office like what they have at North Carolina State to really support our students all the way. It's not exactly that, but we're working on it. And then also campus-wide, so throughout the whole campus, there's the Mary Lou Williams Center, which is really sort of the hub of, I think, Black student life on campus, and they help create a lot of different activities on campus for students. So I won't pretend that at Duke it's smooth sailing all the time. That's not the case. I don't think that's the case at any predominantly white institution. But what I will say is that at Duke, there are people there who are invested in Black student success, and that can be resources and that can help. And so finding those people and connecting with those people when you get to campus is really critical to making sure that you can be successful. One other thing that I'll mention that I think is unique about our engineering program is that we really do have an emphasis in the engineering program at Duke on having a first-year design experience, and that's so critical because with engineering especially, you have all this fundamental knowledge that you have to get. You have to get the math background, the science background, and often you don't get to the fun engineering part until much later in your studies. So Duke has really worked on revamping that and having a design experience in the first year. Where you're working on some type of design project that's coming from a company or from the community, and you're helping come up using engineering to come up with solutions for a problem that's a real world problem. And I think that's a wonderful experience. So those are just some of the things that I wanted to say. And if there are any other specific questions. Oh, one thing about COVID. So one specific thing about COVID and testing is that Duke is not requiring any standardized tests for this incoming class for the next year, for the 2021 class. And there is some discussion in higher education about the value of these tests. So obviously you still want to practice, you still want to take the test because that's still the law of the land. So you need to prep for it and be ready. But I wouldn't be surprised if after COVID and people don't require the tests and they see how successful the students are, that might really be an impetus to change requiring these tests in the first place. So those are my comments, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Adrian. It's very informative. We've been to Duke University and spent time with the chapter there as well. Actually, all the schools that we have here tonight was through connections with our chapters, our college chapters. So thank you for joining us tonight. And again, if you attended Duke or you attend Duke and you want to put something in the chat, I do see people are in there chatting and talking with each other. I see NSBE Virginia members talking to students from the schools. Please let people know, let the students know if you are a student now or if you graduated from there, what you're studying, so they can make connections with you. All right. And if you have questions for any other speakers who spoke tonight, please put that in the chat as well. All right. Our last one that we have represented tonight is UNC Charlotte. Do we have Sherman on the call or Neandre?
Yes, this is Sherman here.
Hey, Sherman.
Hello, hello, hello.
Wolfpacker.
Yes, that's right. All right, my name is Sherman Mumford. I'm on the faculty at UNC Charlotte. I am also a proud Wolfpack, though. Later on, I did attend UNC Charlotte, so I have experience at both institutions, and I still support the Wolfpack. Great opportunity, but as I go through my presentation, I'll point out a few things that are a little different about UNC Charlotte when you think of NC State and some of the other institutions mentioned tonight. The Lee College of Engineering has 7 baccalaureate programs in engineering, engineering technology, and construction management. On the graduate level, we have 7 programs, and then we have 4 PhD programs. Let me mention that UNC Charlotte is really a large institution, and a lot of people do not know that we have a pretty good engineering program. It's not very old. It's a young engineering program, but it's a good engineering program. UNC Charlotte has about 29,000 students. Is the fastest growing in the UNC system. We have about 16,000, actually 17,000 or so freshman applications, and about 3,700 in our freshman class overall. Now, that's the university. Now, within the College of Engineering, and this is significant, we have about 2,100 or so applications every year, and we bring in about 600 students each year for our freshman class. And that's in engineering, engineering technology, and construction management. So we have multiple programs, and they all fall within this college, the Lee College of Engineering. Let me see, what can I mention? Well, what are we known for? Well, it's really a hands-on learning approach. We have good state-of-the-art facilities. The university has been growing and growing. And over the last 15 to 20 years, we've built 4 new engineering buildings. So we are really state of the art. So if you look at any university in really the Southeast and even across the country, we have facilities that will really stack up against anyone. We have a lot of student support. We do have some of our majors are specific and have some great concentrations. Oh yeah, let me go back and let me mention the majors that we do have. So on the undergraduate level, we have civil engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, as well as our electrical and computer engineering, systems engineering, and then we have a group of engineering technology programs as well. Okay. Let me see. I apologize for not having my presentation viewed. I have a problem with my camera today, so I can't really show you that. What makes UNC Charlotte unique is the fact that it's a small college feel. Even though it's at a large institution, within the College of Engineering, you have a small college feel. The faculty is accessible. You can reach out to us. There's really a great sense of community. You'll see the same students over and over again in your classes. And again, the faculty and even the staff and the advisors within the college are really have open door policies and really talk to students and let students get to know them. Another unique feature about UNC Charlotte's College of Engineering is the focus on hands-on learning. So in the first year, the students will take an introduction to engineering or an introduction to engineering technology course. And that course is where it's interdisciplinary and a small size. So you have about 24 students. So you really get to know people in that setting. There are other classes that have 150, 200 people, but in the engineering class that you take, at least early on, we want you to get to know people, and it's team focused. You have hands-on projects, and we talk about how to develop soft skills, how to speak, how to write, how to do the things that engineers do. That's problem solve, and also how to communicate. We teach students early on how to be professional. We're basically in the first year teaching you, we hope, how to be a successful student. If we can support you and get you into your sophomore year, then pretty much every student is tough. It's not going to be easy, but if we can get you to that point, you have the foundation to graduate. And that's the focus. It's one thing to get in to the university, but we really want you to come in, we want to retain you, and we want you to graduate. Now, as far as freshman admissions at UNC Charlotte, for our engineering technology admissions, you just need to meet the UNC Charlotte admissions requirements. Now, for engineering, there are a few different requirements. One, you must take a math in your senior year. Now, that does not mean if you do not take a math in your senior year, you will not get accepted into the university. You will get accepted, or you can get accepted into the university and work your way back into the College of Engineering. However, if you do not take a math in your senior year, you will not gain immediate admission into the College of Engineering, or at least into an engineering major. You should have a C or better in all of your high school math classes. If you have a D in a math class while you're in high school, you will not gain admission into the College of Engineering immediately. You can work your way back into it, okay? So those are some things that you just want to pay attention to while you're going through high school. As far as SAT, typically we're looking around the 550, 570, somewhere in that range on one end. And then as far as the ACT, you should score at least a 23. Our weighted high school average and for engineering is about a 4.1. And then for engineering technology, the weighted GPA is about a 3.7. Now, while I'm here, let me mention another unique aspect of UNC Charlotte, and that is the fact that we have engineering, which is the theoretical side. It's computational. It's really heavy on design. But we also have engineering technology, which is more of an application and execution type of engineering degree. So in engineering technology, if you learn better with labs, hands-on applications, then we kind of think that, okay, maybe you want to try engineering technology. The good thing is you can come in engineering, and if the computational side or the theoretical side is not working out for you, we have a smooth transition into engineering technology. And very often students complete the engineering technology program, and they come out and they compete for the same jobs as the engineering students, and both do quite well in industry. All right. I think that was about it. As far as COVID, we are definitely moving towards online courses. That is a concern for us with our freshman students. So we're making some adjustments, and we're actually creating new courses and redesigning our courses so that the incoming freshmen, we can hopefully, we don't want to penalize them in the first semester because they've had such a unique and end to their senior years. We want to make it a smooth transition for them. We also have the Engage Me and We Engage programs. So Engage Me is a multicultural engineers program which focuses on success, retention, and graduation for underrepresented groups, African American, Native American, Hispanic student populations. And we have We Engage, and We Engage focuses on women. So it's women engineers change the world. I believe that's their motto. Both really give support and a sense of community for those underrepresented populations, trying to support them and let them know that they're not alone. And because going to a PWI, as I did, I know how it can really feel isolating. You can really isolate yourself and not feel like you have a family environment there, and you may not feel like you have support. But we try to do our best to reach students so that students realize you don't have to fight through it by yourself. And we really, at UNC Charlotte, it is very collaborative. I think that is the other big advantage for if you're interested in coming to UNC Charlotte and the College of Engineering, is how collaborative we are. We encourage students to go to tutoring together. And as a matter of fact, in the Engage Me program, we're actually coordinating facilitated study groups so that we kind of pull students together and help you, create some of those networks and those support systems amongst your peers that can help you, and you can help each other as you work your way to graduation. And I put a few links in the chat. Okay. And if anyone is interested, we have a virtual tour, and we do have, there's an information session. I'll add that to the chat too. So if someone is just interested in learning more about some of our programs, or if you have other questions, you can go to one of our virtual sessions and speak to someone. All right. Thanks for everything, Tony.
Very informative. And I will add that RTP NSBE offers a career mentoring program for our colleges that we support. We do have a few schools that we support that are not in the presentation tonight. Also St. Augustine's University, North Carolina Central University. We're working on Shaw University, working on Wake Tech. But we do offer career mentoring, and we have NSBE members, and we get volunteers from local companies. And we have quite a few students from all of the schools that were represented, and they've done well. They have internships, they have permanent positions, or they have some kind of valuable experience that's helping them. And we have companies that are coming in and helping them work on that personal brand and network. And we'll continue to do that even after they graduate and they get into our professional chapter or another one. So all of these schools, like I said, a lot of collaboration and support they will get from RTP NSBE as well. All right, so I believe that we are wrapping up. I do have this one slide about Wake Tech. I wasn't able to get someone to connect tonight from Wake Tech, but I did just want to mention that they do have a college transfer pathway, which allows students to go to Wake Tech for 2 years. They get a degree as an associate in arts, associate in engineering, science, or fine arts. If you're interested in engineering, you can go there and do the associate in engineering degree and then transfer eventually to a 4-year college or university. And as you can see there, it says one of the articulation agreement is with UNC system member institutions. So the ones that you have seen presented here tonight, Chapel Hill, UNC Chapel Hill, UNC Charlotte, NC State, North Carolina A&T, and there are others that were not represented here tonight, but those are a part of that UNC system schools. So, and I have met several students that have done the Wake Tech Community College first and then gone on to the other universities and are NSBE members and are doing quite well. So that's also there if you're interested in that. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of encourage everyone as we get ready to wrap up. I know we are past time, but I do want to make sure you have put your questions in the chat. I'm going to ask Tasia if she wants to go ahead and get our game ready. As we get ready to do that, I want to mention that on July 25th, there is going to be a free HBCU fair. That's a virtual fair. It does cost. You can register for it at commonblackcollegeapp.com. I think I misspelled that there, but it's here in the flyer. commonblackcollegeapp.com is where you can go register for the HBCU fair. It will fill up quick. The last time they had it, it sold out. So if you want to attend that, please go ahead and sign up. Angie, was it something that you wanted to chime in on, Angie?
I was so focused on making my point about our SAT range that I forgot to share our ACT. And,
okay.
It's a 30 to a 33, and then the GPA is a 3.75 to a 4.0. And so wanted to share that, and again, just encourage students that you want to challenge yourself in terms of curriculum that's available. If it is the case that you step up and you take that class that you're like, oh, I know I'm gonna have to work hard, that is what NSBE is for. You reach out to NSBE and we'll help you take that journey. And so I just wanted to add that in, that all schools have different profiles. Look at it and just keep in mind that we're looking for you to have a strong math and science background. The only other thing that I wanted to add, and just listening to everyone talk, I was just like, I forgot so many things, but we do have a very, very big career fair.
Yep.
And so in terms of being able to start connecting in the class that I mentioned, by the time students are ready for that big job between NSBE and our career fair, students are really set up to get to where they need to be quickly. And so you can have an internship, you're right out the gate at your freshman year. Right. And so it's just a matter of making sure you're connected to the networks that will get you where you need to be. So those were just my closing things that I wanted to make sure I said.
Thank you, Angie. And just also to echo that, I work with John Deere, and sometimes I'm the person interviewing the students. So network is very important. And there are other companies who are represented in the chapter, or either we have information sessions and students can take the, they can make the most of their education, also build a brand through the professional organizations. All right, so at this point, I know we are pressed for time, but if you have time to stick around, we have two huge things I want to share. The first thing is a quiz. I'm gonna get this going, and Tasia, you can narrate this if you like. And then we have a big surprise. We have a debut song that was recorded and written by some RTP NSBE members. I won't steal the thunder, but we'll go ahead and get started with the quiz. All right, so this is what you do. I always mess up with the first one. This is what you do. This is how you play. Put in the chat the answers, and Tasia, you can let me know who hit it first, who got the answer, who got the right answer first. And at the end of the night, we will figure out who got the most correct. And this is for the students. Now, parents, don't help out. This is unless it's someone who is K through 5, K through 5th grade, you can help them out. But we will tally whoever got the most right here, and then we will connect with you on a prize for your efforts, okay? So here's the very first one. Everyone probably's got this one already. So what does AWFE stand for? Put that in the chat. And Tasia, let me know who you think got it first.
All right, Tony, sorry. I don't know if you got my text, but I'm actually using my phone, so I'm trying to figure out how to get back to the chat on my phone. So give me a second. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's cool. Is someone, let me just kind of take a look and see if we got it in there. I'll look myself. Oh, looks like Andre got it. A Walk for Education. Is someone from RTP?
Tony.
Before Andre.
Tony.
Jairus had it first.
Okay, Jairus had it? Okay. Brian, were you going to say something? Jairus got it? Okay.
If you want, Tony, I can keep the tally on my phone and just like stay on the chat.
Okay.
Or I can like keep the tally on my phone so I don't have to like going back and forth on my phone between the chat.
Okay.
And the actual. Okay. Thanks. Sorry about that. I was having connection issues on my laptop.
All right. So what is the SAT and ACT used for? Who's got it in the chat, Renee? Brian.
Jairus has college entrance exams.
All right. That's right. Who was the first African American to attend an all-white school? Anybody know this one? Any answers for this one?
Ruby Bridges from Josh Burnell.
Okay, that's right. What do engineers do? What do engineers do? Come on, college chapters. Who's got this one, Renee?
Nobody yet. Andre says apply the principles of science.
Okay. You know what? I will take that answer. That was right.
We also turn ideas into reality, y'all.
Excellent. What does HBCU stand for?
Now I know y'all know that. Okay.
Andre again.
Andre got it. Okay. Historically Black College or University. Name at least 3 HBCUs in North Carolina. Don't cheat. Don't go look on the internet.
Jairus 3. Jairus only named 1.
2 more, Jairus.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jairus.
Do we have it?
Jairus hit it.
He did 3. He had Central, A&T, and Shaw. Andre,
Okay.
you only did 2, sweetheart.
All right. I want to say we have 12 here.
We do?
We got 12. Okay.
I think 1 is not active right now.
Okay. What was the first HBCU in the South? I'll give you guys a hint. It's located in Raleigh. What do we have?
It's 2 in Raleigh. Which one, y'all?
What do we have in the chat?
St. Aug.
St. Augustine.
Not it.
That's what Jairus, you said? Jairus and Ashanti said.
No, it's not St. Augustine's.
So what else is in Raleigh, y'all? Y'all forgotten the ones in? Okay. Ambria says Shaw.
That's right, Shaw University. It became the first HBCU to come about after the Civil War. What does BLM stand for?
Black Lives Matter, Jairus.
Jairus is quick.
Yep.
Is it Jairus or
Jairus? It's Jairus.
Jairus. I'm sorry, Jairus.
Are we saying it right, Jairus?
Yes.
Okay.
Jairus.
Okay.
Jairus.
What is the largest ran student organization in the United States?
Oh, that's super easy. Y'all hurry up. Y'all are members of it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they didn't realize it.
Andre got it.
Andre got it?
Andre got it.
The National Society of Black Engineers. Excellent. What's the mascot for, what college is in North Carolina has the Tar Heels as its mascot?
Yeah, Ashanti.
Okay. Oops. What is Mary Jackson known for? Anybody?
Mary Jackson.
NASA's first African-American female engineer. Y'all know it next time. What does the A&T part of A&T State University stand for? Anyone? Come on, Aggies.
Okay, Ashanti has it. No, Andre got it first. Agriculture and technical.
Right.
Andre put a question mark. I don't know if we should count that.
We let him have it this time. What does RTP NSBE stand for? Come on, NSBE Junior. Okay, I'm gonna go. Anybody have it?
Well, he said Research Triangle Park, which I don't think is right.
Yes, that's not park. I'm gonna go ahead and tell everybody. Research Triangle is actually Research Triangle Professionals. We had the wrong answer if there was Research Triangle Professionals. Whoever got that, we'll let them have it as long as they know that it's Research Triangle Professionals.
That was Andre.
Okay. What does STEM stand for? Anybody got this one?
No.
It looks like Jairus got knocked out. He's coming back in. What does STEM stand for?
Wait a minute, Andre. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
Awesome.
I put math. He's formal.
4 colleges in North Carolina that are not HBCUs. Name 4.
Okay, Jairus has it.
Awesome.
Then Ashanti.
Okay. What is the goal of a walk for education? What did you guys learn tonight? Now, typically a walk for education is done in person, but because of the pandemic, we had to do it virtually. And we started it out with social media campaigns and videos and content on our social platforms. Anyone get it?
No, not yet.
Take a guess. I'm sure you'll be close based on what you learned tonight. Any thoughts, Andre? Jairus?
To distribute information about the importance of education.
Excellent.
Jairus.
And why is education important? Anybody? Whoever chimes in first will probably get this one.
Andre said all.
All right. What does the FASFA stand for, the FAFSA? All right, I'm going to help you guys out.
I'm not seeing anything.
Free application for federal student aid. Free application for federal student aid. By the time you guys are seniors in college, you'll know what that stands for. What year was RTP NSBE Junior founded?
Yes, 2019.
And who got that?
Jairus.
What is President Obama's first name?
Andre Barack.
Okay. What is Walter Lincoln Hawkins known for? Inventing a plastic coating for telephone wires that made universal service possible. Okay, didn't know that myself. Almost finishing up here. Which month is Black History Month?
Yep. Jairus. Oh, I'm ruining your name.
Which NC city did young African American students?
Wait a minute, Brian said it's January through December, the whole year. Should be year round, Andre said.
All right. Which North Carolina city did young African American students stage a sit-in at a segregated Woolworth's lunch counter?
Greensboro from Jairus.
Excellent. Percy,
Last one.
what is Percy Julie known for? Anybody know? A research chemist and pioneer in the chemical synthesis of medicinal drugs from plants, such as cortisone, steroids, birth control, and so forth. Excellent. Well, thank you guys. Who won our quiz bowl tonight?
I think Tasia was keeping up with that.
Tasia, do you know who tallied the most?
I'm tallying them up right now, but it looks like Jairus. I'm sorry, I'm messing up your name too. My full name's Jatasia, so.
Okay, go ahead and tally
So
them
yeah,
up.
I'm tallying it up.
All right, while you're doing that, I'm gonna let Ray go ahead and play us out. We'll play the song and then we'll introduce the tally. So Ray, this was a production that we did as NSBE members. And Ray, you wanna talk about it real quick and play it?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I produced the beat, and Tony and me and Brian and Dietrich wrote something about, our takes on education. So I'm gonna play it for you. Can you just nod your head and let me know if you can hear it?
Y'all let us know we can make it to American Idol, okay?
We go. Here's the chick. Go. Yeah, I like this beat too. I would love, baby. Go. Chick, yo. Here's the chick. Yes.
I do it because I love it, because I love it, know I can. Stems in my heart, and burn the master's plan. Do it because I love it, because I love it, know I can. Stems in my heart, and burn the master's plan. This is a rhyme for education. I'm advocating it for every generation. It's what we need for elevation and navigation to our next destination. We have no fear of math calculation, chemical formulation, or scientific notation. Banker, Walker, and Carver use their imagination and brain stimulation to birth a new creation. Therefore, I know through STEM education, I will excel with a strong foundation and change the world with a new revelation to lead us on to the next destination. I do it because I love it, because I love it, know I can. Stems in my heart, and part of the master's plan. I do it because I love it, because I love it, know I can. Stems in my heart, and part of the master's plan.
Yes. 2 + 2 is 4. Oh, you didn't know. Let's be true. Yeah, we rocking out the dough. Go on, get the grades. Go on, make the A's. That allows test shit. We knocking out the days. Engineers, that's who we be. We pop out on the scene, whole region too deep. Go on, catch this wave. Go on, make a move. You missing out if you don't fall through. Yeah, go on, get with it. Yeah, go on, get jiggy. Yeah, sign up now for only $5.50. Yeah, cause we stand out. Cause we stand out. Cause we stand out. Cause we stand.
Because I love it, because I love it, know I can. Stems in my heart, and are the master's plan. Master's plan, cause I do it, cause I know I can. Stems in my heart, and are the master's plan.
Okay, knowledge yourself, that's true wealth. Take care of your fam, that's true health. Get the books and get to this paper. Know your plan, gotta know your major. Self-help books for kids to be reading, mentoring and tutoring for kids that we lead in. Start early, yo, learn something every day, your future's bright.
Do it because I love it, cause I know I can. Stems in my heart, and are the master's plan. Do it because I love it, cause I know I can. Stems in my heart, and are the master's plan.
Shine so bright, you could use candelas with a flow so tight. Make the whole world jealous, whole team took flight. Now we all interstellar with a force like steam. Make your whole life better. You can follow any dream in any nightmare. Turn crops into green, but a crystal clear stand. It's a real tight thing. Engineers are rare, but we gotta be aware of the wealth in greens. The limelight might come right, but then again it probably won't last like. Then what you gonna do when the fun's tight? Since you brought it all night to a gunfight, you ain't gotta listen to me. Education make me money. I made hard days sunny with a 4-year degree. Had a full ride, mean free. Look out, chase money, man, money chase me.
All right. So what y'all think about that? Put something in the chat for us. Are we ready for American Idol? Yes or no?
That was dope.
You like it, Andre?
That was dope.
Okay. Let's get some A's now.
Andre wants to download it.
Oh, you got to talk to our producer about that.
I should have it up probably in a month. I think that's
Too hype. Killed it. That's what's up. Nice.
Okay. I tell y'all what, give us a name. We don't have a name for our little rap team here. Give us a name. Put that in the chat. Tasia, you got a tally for us?
Oh yeah, sorry, I was
JC.
typing it. Looks like JC's the winner. I'm not gonna mess up his name again, but you won.
Jairus won? Okay.
Yeah. Congratulations.
I tell you what, Jairus, you're gonna get the first copy of the song. That's your prize right there. Okay. All right. Did we get a name? Let me see. Black Excellence. Oh, I like that. Thanks, Andre. I like that. Okay.
Oh, and then it could be short for B. We could be like, be all that you can be. Haha. Sorry. I know I'm lame, but still.
Okay, Tasia. All right. Well, that's all we have for tonight. Thank you guys for sticking around and hanging out with us. I will send out the presentation from tonight. Sherman, I know you said you couldn't share yours. If you want to email that to me, I can send that out as well. And I'm also going to send out what I got from Jason Patel. He said I could share his presentation as well. So thanks everybody for coming. And I'll find out from Just Rage, AKA Ray Johnson, how we can share a copy of the song that you heard tonight. It was an original produced by yours truly and RTP NSBE. Hats off to everybody. Thank you for joining.
Hey, Tony.
Yes.
I don't see him here now, but Greg was in the house. Greg Battle was in the house from NCCU.
Okay, maybe he had to drop off. Okay, thanks for letting me know. I did see him as well.
Yeah, he was probably not feeling that well. He was in an accident.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
he was standing up the whole time. And it's so good to have Sherman on the phone with us.
Right, from UNC Charlotte. And also, like as I mentioned earlier, our Vice President, Doug Davis, his father passed. So if you want to put a shout out to him in the chat, I will be saving the chat. And we are recording this meeting, and I will send that out as well. Thank you all.
Sherman lost his brother last week.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Sherman. Our condolences go out to you as well. And our prayers will be with your family.
And quick question before we go, Sherman, is there a way you can get in contact with me? I've been really interested in the master's program for engineering. So yeah, or for the engineering management program at UNC Charlotte. So yeah, that's all if you're still on.
He put his
Thank you, Sherman.
Yeah, he put his information in the chat, and I can also get it to you, Tasia.
All right. Appreciate it.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody. Now, NSBE Virginia members, there's a camp going on. Like I said, DJ knows you'll be late tonight if you still want to go. They also will have one on Thursday, and there will be an orientation. And if any of you are interested in writing a rhyme, you know, I'm going to challenge you now. It's got to be better than ours. If you're interested in writing a STEM rhyme, let me know. Okay. I don't know yet about a camp in July. I still need to see what our schedules will allow, but if so, we'll send that information out. We were thinking about doing a music production camp, and if our schedules will allow it. So anyway, you guys have a nice night. Thank you for calling in, and everybody be safe, stay Black, and continue to show NSBE love. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
You get more stuff. You're getting
More stuff is coming in the chat. Okay.